Here we are, 1 month later. Ronnie's car is back for its inspection. Hey Ronnie, I'll reach over. How you going?
Yeah, I'm going good, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. The car's a little bit dirty because I've been reluctant to wash it until, yeah. Wasn't sure if I was allowed to.
Allowed to, yes. Well, that's exactly why it's back, is for its inspection. So
I wasn't allowed to then?
Oh, I mean, you could have, but what we like to do is same as what we did with the 76 or any car that we wrap, is to get it back after 2 weeks or so, give it an inspection, make sure all of the film is sitting down nicely as it should, and then obviously give it a quick detail inside and out for your time.
Yeah.
But what I've got is
won't complain about that, because we went to the beach the other day and I think I was the only one that was careful.
Oh, fantastic. I've got a few questions, forgive me being on my phone, but just about your experience with the PPF and then obviously the Prado itself. So first one, how do you like the look of the car in the Stealth?
I reckon it looks awesome.
Yeah.
It is hard to detect in the middle of the day if you weren't aware of it.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't know the car's wrapped in, unless it's next to another white car, until then you won't really know.
Yeah.
But early morning, Arvo, you'd definitely be able to tell.
Yeah. And even like for people like us that like to take photos and videos of our cars, those are the best times to shoot it as well, because that's where you can really see the that matte look of the film.
100%. Just seeing how the light is bouncing off it differently, and it's like you don't have to bump up the clarity so much in Lightroom anymore.
Yeah, that's it. And then next question, which you've kind of already answered, is have you taken it off-road yet?
Not really, no.
No, not properly.
Not since we got the wrap on it. Yeah. I just haven't wanted to, because I knew last time I probably shouldn't have. I took the 76, because I was in Sharp Bay and boys on the Efficient, so we did probably a couple of 100 Ks off road, Yeah.
But I guess you've already got good experience of how the film goes with the 76 off road. The Prado's going to be exactly the same. It's the same film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hopefully the panels are as strong as on the 70.
Yes.
So I just got to keep that in mind,
Yes. No, we don't want any dents.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to actually take it on the track, on the bush.
Yeah.
Been hanging for it.
Yeah.
So just one more thing to do, a couple of new tyres and some other rims.
Yep.
And we're ready to go.
Yeah, fantastic. Are you going to go bigger tyres?
Yeah, we're going up to 34.2.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the exact same size tyre and type actually. It's that I had on the Ineos Grenadier, the one that I borrowed for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah,
so it's a 34.2 on 17s.
Yeah. So what does the 250 Prado come with from the factory? Because is it 33s or?
It's 30.
Close to?
I think it's 32.7.
Yeah.
32.7 on 18-inch rims.
Yeah.
So I've upgraded those to a 33.5, I think. Yeah. So I'm not really stepping up much from where I've already stepped up, but if you look at the overall scheme of things, it will go up, and it's a mud terrain, so it's going to do better.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
With puncture resistance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And grip, the main thing.
Yeah. How do you rate the looks of the Prado compared to the 76, either just in general or in the case of with the PPF on it? Yeah,
I think stock, I think the Prado looks better.
Yeah.
Like if you compare stock to stock, but now with the 76 being lifted, it's got a bar on it, that definitely looks better at the moment, but it won't be long until the Prado is going to catch up, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, got some good plans for that. I've got a bull bar already picked out, and once we lift it, it's going to look like a different beast.
Yeah. And how do the two cars compare, like in terms of driving dynamics, either on-road or off-road? Or is it a bit too early to tell because you're still going to change some stuff with the Prado?
It's pretty early in some aspects, but on road, Prado, definitely better.
Yeah.
The stereo, awesome, going from 12 speakers rather than two shitty ones in the front and two in the back that you can't really hear.
Yeah.
But off-road, the 70, I definitely feel more comfortable in that. Like, you know, just from the test that I did in the Prado, it found the underside of the carriage a lot, and that's why I really want to lift it before I do anything proper in it.
Yeah.
That said, I'm still going to take it out of the bush pretty soon and just, give it a good scratch.
Yeah. I suppose you've got both ends of the spectrum in terms of the Land Cruiser family tree. You've got the 76, which sits all the way up the heavy duty, more off-road focused, bit tougher in that sense, not as great on-road dynamics. And then the Prado, which is the light duty end of the Land Cruiser family tree, which is much more well-behaved on-road. Still absolutely fantastic for what it can do off-road for what it is, but you've got that kind of breadth there. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, that's only because they stopped doing the RAV4 and four-wheel drive that it doesn't have that other one there behind it.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to I've just been waiting for ages just to all these other bits and things to happen, you know, like I thought doing the whole wrap process would be the longest thing, you know, like you know, you got to wrap it, then you got to wait. That's going to take about a week, and there's 2 weeks of grace you to give it. Yeah. But that's already been, and I'm actually here like even a week like after that.
Yes.
Because I'm still waiting for everything else to happen.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I said 2 week period. It's actually been longer than that since we're filming, but. No, so what's taken longer than what are you waiting on?
It's just getting things, you know, like suspension, that's tough to get. Yeah. And look, just the wheels, it's just because it's just come out of like January, February, it's just, Yeah.
Is that because there's not a lot of kits or parts available for the 250 yet?
That's one of the reasons, yeah. There's not much at all. No one does a GVM upgrade yet.
Really?
Yeah, no one does that yet, and that's definitely something I'm going to be doing. So I'm hoping that, so that's why I'm waiting for this GVM kit to be released, but it's not a guarantee, so whatever happens is going on anyway, and then I'll just get it approved later.
Yeah, oh, there you go.
Yeah, it needs it.
Yeah. So how do you think the 250 Prado compares to other Prados? Have you owned or driven the older Prados much enough to compare?
I've driven a 150, I've test driven one, I've driven Chris's as well, once it was modified and it's heavier. During the build I drove it a bit just to get a feel for it. I think it compares well, but the 150 has better clearance from scratch.
So stock for stock? Stock
for stock. If you were to swap the wheels around, then the old Prado would have 40 mil clearance over the other Prado. It's funny how that worked out, but on paper it says that the new Prados get 1 mil more above the 150.
Hey, every mil counts.
Oh my God, yeah, but it's only because they put the bigger tyres on it. So it's I think the older Prado has quite a few more things going for it. It doesn't have the 48 volt system thing, because that's, I still want to like disconnect and see if the car's still going to run, things like that.
Yeah,
so
okay.
There's a few concerns with that.
Yeah.
You know, like it's adding more electronics to the car, reliability. Yeah. It's making me reluctant to take it on the canning stock route.
Okay.
But I want to try and make it happen.
Yep.
And it's just a clearance thing, but that's it. Other than that, I think it is a better car. It's heavier. That's one thing that's going against it. They have increased the GVM, but the car's heavier, and they've only increased the GVM to mitigate half of the increase of the curb weight. Yeah. So if you look back at the older Prado, that's got a better payload. Yeah. And the towing of 3.5 tonne, well, it's not going to happen in a practical manner.
No, definitely not. As a Prado owner myself, I have a 120 series, which is obviously considerably older than the 250. The 120s and the 150s are fairly similar for what they are. But as a young enthusiast with a smaller budget, as I like to hypothesize and dream about the future of what my four-wheel drive ownership might be like, I look at the 250 compared to what I've got with my 120, and there's a lot that puts me off it, such as no long range fuel tank. That's probably the biggest one. That's why I chose a 120 series Prado over another Land Cruiser of a similar era. Is they're bigger and heavier and bigger engines that aren't as good on fuel. My 120's bone stock. Real world, I'm somehow able to average 9.5 litres per 100 Ks.
That's incredible.
Like, I mean, I commute long distance for work, but it means that with that 180 litre tank, I don't need any jerry cans, and I can go almost 2,000 Ks if I want to. And that's probably my biggest personal thing. But also, I know that the 250 is a bigger car overall, but the interior space feels smaller. We know we've talked heaps about how the boot's compromised and things like that. No spare wheel on the back. All of those things, I guess, from myself as a younger enthusiast's perspective, makes the 250 not look as good as a tourer stock for stock.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. You know, if you're getting nearly 2,000 kilometres out of that Prado, it's why are we doing all this emission stuff to these cars if they're not even getting better range? You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's quite interesting.
Yes, it is. Yeah. I'm a big advocate for just get an old car and maintain it and things like that. Like, I don't really feel like a lot of new cars are as good as they used to be.
No, I don't think things are made to last as long either.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Toyota we're talking about, so they tend to build things that's supposed to be lasting quite a while. And I do think that we will still see these cars kicking around. Yeah. Because even if there is a problem with this 48 volt system, that there is something going on with it, or if it does become a problem, there'll be some kind of recall. Yeah. And the next version will be fine. The range on it, it's not too bad, but when you compare it to what you were just talking about, it's not that great either.
Yep.
So 110 litres, getting about 850, 900 if I really baby it around.
Yeah.
But even I tried to drive so feather foot on the way home one day, just maintain the speed limit, that was it. Yeah. You know, just creeping up to the speed limit, not like going, whoop, I'm at the speed limit, let's just hold it here. Yeah. It's creeping up, coasting down hills, maintaining the speed limit. Yeah. And the best I could get was 8.8.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, but
for a heavier car.
For a heavier car, but who's going to drive around like that all the time?
No one.
You know, I mean, the cruise control couldn't even replicate that.
No.
So yeah.
Interesting. One last question is, how do you think the 250 Prado compares to its competitors? So other new kind of entry-level wagon-based four-wheel drives on the market, like the MUX or lower spec Everests.
So people compare it to the Everest a lot. Yeah. And it was funny, I had this conversation on the way here today, actually.
There you go.
I was talking to Chris, and because I was telling him about the towing paradox this 250 Prado has. And he was talking about an article that compared it to an Everest. Yeah. And I was like, how can you compare an Everest to a Prado? An Everest should be compared to a Fortuner, but then what compares to a Prado? So there's nothing really around in that, so it has to be the Everest. Yeah. And they were favouring the Everest over the Prado in many aspects. Now, I haven't read the article, and there's probably some good factual points in there why you get more bang for buck out of that than you would out of a Prado. Yeah. But there's one thing that I do know of. And so with the Everest, if it has, which I'm pretty sure it does, same motor as the Ranger. Yeah. I test drove a friend's Ranger on the beach, and I was having this conversation on the phone with Chris, and it was almost getting towards overheating the gearbox. We had to stop the car and wait half an hour because, you know, it's my mate's car, I've got to make sure. Then jumped back in it, and then we did a bit more testing. But I had to take it easy in low range on the beach, and I wasn't even giving it that much of a hard time.
Yeah.
And then Chris mentioned while we're having this conversation that he did a shoot down south, and they had a Ford Ranger, and it wouldn't tow up this hill because it kept going into limp mode, and it's because he was towing off road, and it's just overheating the gearbox.
Yeah.
So there are other options out there, but they all have little teething issues that got to be sorted out.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is kind of, in the modern era with all the modern cars, it's a little bit frustrating that you have to do extra things to these cars.
Yeah.
Right?
Because they're already so expensive to buy.
That as well.
And then you've got to do more to them.
They've upped the price, you've got to pay more. So shouldn't you be expecting something better? It's a bit like the Prado. Like, to tow 3.5 tonne, you have to do a GVM upgrade. But then if you do a GVM upgrade and then you load it up with your family, well, now you've exceeded your GCM.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. It's impossible. And then you've got the Isuzu.
Yeah.
The what do you call them? The MUX?
The MUX.
Yeah. Two mates. So it's a family friend and a mate of mine. They both had turbos go towing caravans.
Yeah, okay.
So
is that because they were overloaded, or?
No, just towing. Apparently it's a common thing, but it's not worthy of a recall because not everyone tows.
No.
And their fuel tanks are like 60 litres or something. So you're constantly filling up.
Yeah.
So, you know, like it's a funny sort of way things are going with all these cars.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Every one of them has their own pros and cons to them.
Yeah, they do, and you've really got to, you know, if you want to tow something, you really got to shop around for the car more than the caravan, I reckon.
Yeah. And maybe that's why, you know, with how big caravans are getting and things like that, why a lot of American trucks, for example, are becoming increasingly popular here.
Yeah.
Because they're the only ones that can handle it.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with that either. It's nothing should tow a van that's, if the van's heavier than the car, it shouldn't be towing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And
how can you rate a vehicle to 3.1 tonne GVM, but you are allowing it to tow 3.5 tonne? Yeah. It just, no. It should at least match the same weight.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Well, I can't wait to see how the Prado goes off-road now that you can unleash it. After its inspection period. The film will keep you well protected and looking fantastic, and yeah, can't wait to see what you do with it.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And that roof being gloss black, it's cool.
Yeah. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh,
let's put some stripes on it too.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Like the traditional Land Cruiser ones?
Yeah, I might do something like that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We'll have to have a chat.
Maybe that will increase the GVM.
give it a bigger engine. Make it a real Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, until next time. Cheers.
Thanks, James.